পানিটা অফ করেছিল না? Hello. Yeah, he is able to connect with the क्या बोलते हैं उसको phone. There is some problem there with his I think headset I guess. It's starting at 11 o'clock, so I told him around 1 hour. So it will get over at 12. About the timing. Timing, no need to say as such, I guess, because he already knows. So you can just start with your what you say welcome address, and then you hand it over to him. And once he finishes that speech, before of time, would you like to give a what? Okay. Okay, I'll do that part. Okay. Chalo, so we meet at 11, na? बताओ हाँ पटाख से आके ले के जाओ क्या है Kuno mazi lagi tapos beli seperti
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. I think this setup is okay.
Okay. I
Okay.
just wanted. I was again trying on my laptop, but that's
Ah,
not working. I don't know. We
yeah,
have to
even I'm
check
not
it out.
sure what happened.
But my vision is okay. How you
Yeah,
see me?
your forehead is slightly hidden. Otherwise, I can see you properly.
Okay. I'll do something. Okay.
Yes, sir. This is better, sir.
Is it okay
Yes, sir.
now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, sir. So students have already joined. We will. We have 15 more minutes to start.
Sure. No problem. I will.
Okay, sir.
Because I don't want to meddle in the
I
last
understand, sir.
moment. That's why I do. Okay.
I
Fine.
totally
Thank you.
understand, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
No, no, now problem नहीं. You're right. Huh? Right here, heat session. A super solar. Hello? You called or what? Okay, I thought you called. Anyway, everyone is there. Sar is also ready. Okay. We are almost ready. We have just 5 minutes.
Okay.
So today's are being Eid. I was expecting lesser students, but still I can see a
Okay.
lot of students turned up.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I was also noticing it. It's good. The people are so interested. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's nice.
And especially because the students who are passing out this year, they couldn't
Okay.
do their moot course because usually it is done in the last semester, and
Oh,
they did
okay.
not have any
Okay.
experience of the moot course. So I thought like it will be the best way if you talk to them a little bit, so they will get a better experience also. And probably this is going to be their last experience with moods and other things before they go to the courts and start their life.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. I will try to, like, next time I will install it. Maybe I will address other students also later on if possible.
Ha.
And but anyhow, yeah, I understand the seriousness of it when they are unable to do a moot. Yeah, I
Yes,
understand.
sir. But here there are some other students also. Some are from
Oh,
NEF.
no.
Haha.
Oh, yeah, 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 I understand. Good.
Dhanamanjuri ma'am, are you there? Dhanamanjuri ma'am, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So we are almost ready. People have already turned up. So now I give the microphone to you. I am switching off my microphone.
Someone is presenting. Okay, good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are
Oh,
audible. I can hear you
yeah.
perfectly.
You can see me?
Yes, sir, I can see you.
Thank you. Good.
So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Dhanamanjuri, Assistant Professor and Coordinator, Moot Court of Cell of BRM Government Law College, Guwahati, Assam. So, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you in this workshop on Moot Court. So, Moot Court is a great place to refine public speaking skills. Mooting helps to gain immense practical knowledge about various fields of law, and which in a way also highlights your research skills also. It helps in the overall development of an individual as a good and a proficient lawyer, and makes a student familiar with the proceedings that take place generally in the real courtrooms. The idea, which has been conceived by Mr. Amarjyoti Sarma, is to conduct this workshop on moot court is commendable, and the presence of Dr. S. Ravichandran is the icing on the cake. I would like to extend an especially warm welcome to our distinguished speaker. Many of you have taken out today's time, even though today is Eid, but giving not much importance to the Eid. Many have taken out their time to hear Sir today. Advocate Dr. S. Ravichandran is the head of the academic initiatives Surana and Surana International at Chennai. The Surana and Surana Moot, known for its transparency and ethical conduct of conducting moot courts and the other allied competitions for the law students in India, is among the oldest, largest, and the most prestigious moot court project in India, which has students from India and the SAARC countries regularly participating, and the Dr. Ravichandran sir is the person behind all these moot court competitions. So we are very happy to have you here today along with us. Some of the qualifications which I would like to highlight about sir is MA in English. He has bachelor in law on criminology. Sir has master's degree in contracts, including mercantile law. Sir is PhD in law from Madras University. He did his PhD work on security and the privacy issues in the cyberspace, with special reference to e-commerce in India. Sir has PG diploma in computer management also. Sir has PG diploma in computer science, and some of the experience of the sirs is Secretary Information Technology Bar of India Trust, a non-government organization specializing in creating awareness in technology laws, rules and the regulations among students and the members of the legal profession. Sir has conducted, sir has organized, or sir has judged over 150 court competitions at national, international levels in premier professional legal institutions throughout India on various subjects such as international law, international environmental law, technology law, corporate law, human rights, minority rights, and the criminal law. Sir is teaching as a guest faculty in various legal institutions throughout India, teaching IPR and the information technology laws. Sir has 23 years experience in banking industry. Sir is actively involved in automation of banking operations, design and development of databases in the application. And sir has a very keen interest on trekking, skiing, sailing, driving, and the traveling also. So let us begin with a very warm welcome to Dr. Ravichandran sir. Sir, over to you. Sir, thank you very much for being with us today. And over to you.
Thank you very much for your kind words. I mean, I just you have been elaborate on the describing. It's fine. Namaskar to all of you. Very good morning and Eid Mubarak. I'm very happy that many of the students, in spite of having Eid celebrations today, have joined this session. I hope it will be very useful to you because moot court. You must have participated in moot court, or at least you would have observed moot courts. But how important it is, and because moot is just moot court is a tool. Um, that is the basic thing in legal education. That is how you can handle that tool, because knowledge you acquire from your classrooms, from your teachers, from the books. It is a kind of learning, but learning is finding out what you already know, because once you take a book and read, and if you can understand, then you know about something, but that is only knowledge. Learning comes when you understand what you read. So there is a difference between a literally understanding of a subject, and then an emotional understanding of a subject, and in its depth. If you want to understand, you have to practice it. So that is where doing comes. So whatever you have learned in the classroom, from the books, from your friends, from your interaction with others, and when you do it with these experiences, then only you become a professional. So what I would say is, uh, this moot court, normally when I speak, I will always say I'm not talking about moot courts, but I'm talking about the making of a professional. Because law graduation is a professional course, like engineers, doctors, dentists, or any other. It's a professional course. You have to earn your living through that profession. That is the idea behind it. Um, and when you are a professional, that means you are not an employee. You are not working under anybody, but you provide employment. Some people will be working under you, so they have to learn from you. So when somebody is learning from you, you must be knowing at least a lot, a major portion of that subject which you are learning or practicing. So that is where come how to acquire these expertise. By reading the books, yes. But can you just answer me whether you can learn cycling or swimming by reading a book, or even by watching a movie or a clip which explains everything about cycling or swimming? It's not possible at all, unless you do it. And then once you do it, even after 20 years, I just wake up from your sleep and ask to ride the cycle, you can do that. So that is the importance of learning and doing and acquiring that experience. This is where Moot comes. So what I say is, Moot is a tool, and it helps you into the making of a professional. Now, there are a lot of people say how important it's moot. It's not very important. Like, we read the subject, we write the exams, and we can always go and practice along with the advocates in a court, along in a law firm, and then I can learn. Yes, of course, you can do that, but it takes a longer time. When you are aware of what you are doing, when you go to a law firm or in any other place, even as a teacher, when you become, then the learning becomes easy. Your experience also becomes what you call, you participate in that experience. Otherwise you will be an observer in that experience, but when you participate in that experience, then you learn a lot. So this is where moot is very important. And many of those critics that moot is not that very important, now if you see, even during the pandemic, many law colleges are holding Moot online. So you decide how important it is. So that is where the importance of Moot. And I told you Moot is a tool. Now, how to use that tool? So that is what I'm going to speak to you about. and how you can become a professional using that tool. Now, there are many options after you complete your course studies. Many of you are in the final year now. I know that if you have not written the exams, the day you write the exams and you get the results, you are no longer a student. When you step out of the college, it's going to be a very different experience for you, because I'll tell you that moment when you step out of the college is a very, very a poignant moment, because then you will realize that when you are no longer a student, but you have to earn your living and you have to earn maybe for yourself or some of you, like for others too. You have to take care of your family. So that is a very important thing. It's a huge responsibility. So when you go out in confidence, yes, I know I can do this work, then that makes your life easier and easier to handle. So now, what are the options for you? Because now you will be in the final year or any other thing. You must know what are your options. There are plenty: entering the bar, or even work in a law firm, corporate this thing, and then in-house law officers. If you don't want to go to court, but you can work in a corporate firm as in-house law officers. You can always make the background legal aspects ready, and then you can always approach a law firm, because the company or the corporate houses, they'll have their own legal firm to look after their affairs. So you can help them, but you will also be knowing the knowledge about that particular industry. Then, or NGOs, like UN and other this thing, you can work if you're practicing and experiencing in learning from in international law. uh, and then teaching is also a very good profession nowadays. It needs knowledge, but you have to do your post graduation and then finish your PhD seriously if you are wanted to be in teaching profession. And then judiciary, a lot of people will be preparing for judiciary also, very good options. But then you must have extensive knowledge and how to apply law to the case in hand, to the issues in hand. And then many of you, because law is a very overall, a very vast subject, it covers everything. Literature, if you see many of those judgments when written by the people, the judges or the presentation in courts, the top advocates, they always quote from the legend, the the legends, and from the literature, everything. So they are very, when your rival himself calls you a learned, my learned friend, it means that you are supposed to be learned. You have to read a lot. Whatever that comes into your hand, you have to read a lot. Suppose when you're traveling by bus, if you are having a pack of mungfali when you're traveling on a holiday, and then after you finish that, you have to read that paper, then only you have to put it in the waste paper basket. Such is the kind of energy you must have acquiring knowledge. Keep on reading. And the next thing is, just what I wanted to tell you is, you must be knowing Professor Madhav Menon, who recently passed away. He is the what you call the champion of national law schools. He created a paradigm shift in legal education from the normal law colleges. So, but a few years back, about 5 years back, I think, I always quote this because when he gave an interview in the Salisbury Law Review, that there are 50 skills in which a lawyer must possess, and to become a very good lawyer, to become a very good professional. He has not listed out what those the qualities are, the skills are. But he said whether these skills are taught in the classroom. He said no. See, I will tell you, he is the only person who can make such a comment. After he created the national law school, there were now about 20 plus 24 national law schools, or every state is having a national law school, and some of them are having more than one national law schools. And if he says that such skills are not taught in classroom, where do you learn those skills? That is where I think Moot Court comes into action, because many of those schools we must have. Because I thought, thinking, had a deep thought about his statement, and then started analyzing this, how well we can put what could be those skills and how well you can put it in the Moot Courts. and so that the students may learn those skills. See, I will tell you this particular thing in this presentation or the speech or your class, whatever, however the workshop, however you take it, I would like to do it in person. In fact, that is my preferable option. But even on, because there is no interaction there, interaction is very, very important along with the students, because I can elicit a few questions from answers from you and see your faces, how well you react to the situation. But it's fine. We'll make good the situation now. So when he says these qualities are not there, how well we can acquire these qualities, and how well the educational institutions themselves should provide that atmosphere to make you proficient in those aspects. So I would say, initially, see, my law firm, I work with Surana and Surana. It's one of the top law firms in India, the top 10 law firms in India. And we have been consecutively for more than 15 years, we are on the top person. Uh, we have completed 45 years in of the firm, and we have a specialization in every aspect or every field of law in our office: corporate, real estate, IPR, everything. And we have ISO 9001 for service, and then SA 8000 for social accountability, SA 14,000 for environmental awareness. All these things are there. Why I am telling you this? Because if you are good at something, people should know. But I'm not going to tom this thing about everywhere when I go on the road. Yeah, I'm working in Surana and this is what it means. And these are like, no, it's not like that. But in the right forum, it has to be told, because then only people will know. You will know that there is a firm like this who are good at it. So let us now shift that pitch. Like, I am blowing my own trumpet about my firm, and I have been working there for past 20 years. But and we are doing plenty of moot courts, like almost now 200 completed. Um, it's more, and a few thousands every year, at least 8 to 10,000 people per year are benefited by our actions, because about 20 moots in a year in various law schools. We interact with a lot of students, making them a little bit professional, at least, to make them a good lawyer, and who can take on the world with their skills. So this is where now I'm shifting the focus to you. If you are good at something, any subject, or you have a personal skill, how will people know? Even your own college or your own friends or the whole world, how will they know that you are good at something? So how will you tell that? Will you walk in the road and tell, I am good at this, I am good at this? No, your actions should speak. So that is where moot court comes. So when you learn in the class, your actions, your participation in such practical thing, then only people will start knowing. Okay, you need not win, but at least when you participate, when somebody asks where she has gone, where he has gone, they have gone to the moot court, and they are participating in this subject. So when some question comes in the class, or some requirement comes in the class or in the institution, that let us say you participated in just a post test, and any environmental issues, people come to you, because out of 500 people in your college, you have participated in that. So you know more. I mean, it is presumed that you know more than the other students, because there must be some internal selection. Out of 50 people, you have selected. And throughout India, there are about 1,400 law colleges in India now, and 1 lakh people at least come out every year. Out of that, only a few thousands, 2 or 3,000 students participate in it. So you are one among that when you participate in that. So it is presumed that you have more knowledge than anybody else. I'll tell you, you take my word, if you participate in one session or just a, you will learn, and prepare it in the proper sense. You will have more knowledge about international law or international environmental law than you sit for the whole 5 years in your classroom and learn. So such is the kind of experience, the participation in a moot court case. Now, what I would ask you before you start for a moot court, how will you prepare? How will you go about it? Or let us say you are in the final year, you are not in a position to participate in a moot now. You have to go directly to the court itself. Um, have you people watched this Suits that is coming in Netflix? In that, in very important case, the employees of the firm sit together and enact a kind of a mock trial within that court before they go to the court. Even a professional, because whatever is shown in that particular serial is even very good professionals, top professionals who are the top in their profession, they also practice. They also practice the skill before they go and directly attend this kind of a thing in a courthouse. So such is the importance of this practice, which is in a practical way, you have to learn what we have studied in the classrooms. Now, where will you begin? So you must know about yourself first. You must have heard about the SWOT analysis, the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis. Um, every industry does that when they start a new business or anything. It's a very common thing. I mean, you must have studied in economics or anything, any subject. SWOT analysis is a very common thing when you want to analyze your a situation or an industry or anything. So what I would request you to do a SWOT analysis of yourself. What is your strength? What is your weakness? How do you respond to an opportunity? Do you see a particular thing as a threat? Do you see as a particular, what could be a threat to you can be an opportunity to another person. Let us say if you are, practicing in one side of law, that is, you are, practicing IPR only. But if a taxation thing, you are very good at it and, you have earned a very good reputation. If one of your clients refers his friend's thing to you because your friend thinks, your client thinks that you are very good, but then if he brings a taxation proposal to you, will you accept? Law means you would have known, you have studied all the subjects, but you prefer to do IPR instead of taxation because that is your liking. But you have knowledge about taxation. But question I am asking you is whether you will take up that, because in taxation, it runs into crores of rupees in corporate taxation, and if you lose, yes, your client will lose a lot. So it's a kind of a difficult task that is at your hand. But will you take it or not? That's the question I am asking you. If you take, yes, you're afraid of it. You have no knowledge about it because that subject was your weakness. But if you take it, you consider what a threat to be an opportunity. But if you leave it, you have missed an opportunity, which there are plenty of others who will willingly take it. So next time that other person, if he has got more work, he will not come to you, he will go to the other person. So this is where you deal with it. So what happens is in SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat, there are no specific borders like a strength or a weakness. They're all merged together. What could be your strength can be a weakness to others. And what opportunity you feel is a threat to another person. So how well you understand yourself and then make use of this situation to your benefit, to your advantage, is what makes it. So you better start doing it now itself, because for a professional, it is very, very essential, uh, especially when you want to go higher and be a professional who wants to make a mark there. Now, nowadays, it's an age of specialization. I said, even a law firm like ours has to specialize in a certain area. Even a college says this college is good for business. London School of Economics is good for business. and then Yale and Harvard and this thing, very good law, and some colleges are very good for the MBA, like that. It's an age of specialization. So now, when you say that you have law, people will ask you, what else? What else you know? What else you are good at? So there is a kind of a situation where even a doctor, if you see, um, a general physician has got no place in the medical profession now. They'll ask whether what you are, whether you're a heart specialist or a skin specialist or so many things are there. The Sunsilk ad which you have you watched it? You know how many specialists are there for the hair? Hmm? There are 7 specialists for hair, like hair split specialists, hair shine specialists, hair gloss, this, that. Even for hair treatment, there are so many specialists. And if you say that I have got only one law degree, which I am not good at anything else, whether it is sports or music or whatever it is very, very important. Now, if you see, have you seen gone through this our new education policy outline? So they are trying, like, from 12th standard onwards, it is graduation. And then any degree will be 4 years now. Now, law is 5 years. Now it will become 4 years, maybe in future. And then no individual institutions. It has to be a multi-facility institution where, there is engineering, commerce, this, because, this new education policy is giving an opportunity to students to mix up the subjects. You can have law, but the major is law, and the minor you can have anything else, even music. But do you think it is important? I think it's very important because in earlier days, I always prefer a 3 year law course. I mean, 3 year degree and a law course because you already finish a degree in a subject of your choice and then come to law out of choice. And you are already good at something in BSc chemistry or botany or mathematics, anything. So that is very important in the sense that you are already good in a certain domain. So now let us come to that new education policy. I think there are many law schools, including national law schools, they are seriously considering the option of having a 3 year. Many top law schools already have a 3 years course now, simultaneously going 5 year and a 3 year course. But many law schools, including national law schools, are seriously considering the option of a 3 year law course. Anybody who finishes a degree can get into this law course because if you have a BCom, you are good in commerce. If you have BSc, then you can get into IPR and other matters. If you have BSc chemistry or BSc physics, anything. Or now already engineering students are coming into this stream, this IPR matter. So anything will be very, very important now because even music will be important. If you are dealing with IPR and copyright issues, and you are dealing with the music industry or entertainment industry, if you don't know anything about music, what is the point? So you must have music or engineering or even art. You can take art also if you're good, and do away with the subject which you don't like. So you can do things which you like and then earn a good degree according to the credit points. And the important aspect in the new education policy is more focus on student practical and application knowledge. So that is where this moot court comes into effect. We are already doing that. And in our office, as I told you, I do a lot of analysis is what is happening, the government policies. And so I frame the problems of moot court in such a way that it is beneficial. If you have seen our moots, none of the cases are taken as such from the thing. From the cases are all drafted from everyday happenings here and there and then mixed up. So you will not find anything, take up the previous case laws, you won't find that exact uh, opposite of this case, but it will be a mixture of so many things so that once you participate in one moot, get to learn a lot of things and you get to read a lot of things and understand. So this is the thing. So you have to be aware of what the government is doing, what is happening in this world, what is the corporate world doing exactly. So if you have seen the pandemic, the whole world, the economy has come down. The whole world's economy has come down, including China's. But they are trying to come out of it. But you must have seen in the news or read about in the news, there are 4 5 industries, the technology industry. They have made phenomenal profits. That is 38% more than like Amazon, Apple, and then these kind of people, Facebook, and they have made huge profits during even this pandemic. So that is where you have to see, I mean, what is happening around to know what. So now people think that, even during the pandemic, everything has gone into technology. People have started, using, people who don't use mobile, who don't use technology also have started using, because online only everything is being done. Even a person, a flower vendor or anything also, he is speaking to his near and dear ones only through the video conferencing, or everyone knows about it. I was also not using this kind of a thing, even though we were advocating e-codes and other things, right? Even the codes have gone into the e-mode. So that is where, technology is going to play a very, very important role. So if you have the basic, what you call the domain knowledge, then you can apply law to that domain. If you just have law is common sense. It's just common sense. It's not a subject as it is. How we behave, how human beings behave individually and in society. That is what law is meaning. So when you start an industry, this is what it has to do. When you go to a house, you build a house, this is what you have to do. There are certain rules and regulations that is called law. And you have to apply to the situation, apply to that industry, or apply to whatever it is that you're going to. So law is only a subsidiary thing which is being applied for common sense. You behave in a civilized way. So that is where it comes. Now, when you're sitting at home, uh, you can keep quiet, enjoy. In fact, I am at home only nowadays because I'm not going to office. When all law colleges are closed, I don't have much work. I've taken a what do you call a sabbatical for a brief period of time. But when Amarjyoti sir requested me, I cannot refuse because I have come to your college long time back and addressed the students on Moot course. Uh, so I will always like, and Northeast, we have done 3 trial advocacy Moot in NLJ Assam, wherein at those 3 years, I've seen 12 to 14 law colleges in the northeastern regions participate in that. We have individually called up each of the colleges, say you are sending a team. So that is how we approach students and make them participate in that. Now, what I would like to say is, now I've told a lot of things about the background, what is being a professional, how to acquire those skills. Now only I'm going to come to a situation where you say, what is a moot court? What is a moot court? Moot court is nothing but a scenario which is happening in a court we are trying to recreate in the classrooms. Okay. Those people who are practicing advocates may participate in the judges, or in the finals, we always bring in, even the High Court judges or Supreme Court judges and others. A lot of people we bring, and so the student. Hello, can you
Students,
hear me?
kindly switch off your microphones.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. Okay. Now, so we try to create the kind of a situation in the classrooms, and people participate as the litigants on both sides, the applicant and respondents. The subject can be anything. As I told you, they have told in my CV, in our firm, we are conducting moot courts on all subjects like international law, criminal law, civil, corporate, IPR, technology, anything we do. And whenever it happens in a situation where it can be high court, it can be Supreme Court, or it can be a simple local court or a family court. We have a family law moot also now. And then, if it is just up or this thing, is International Court of Justice. So the situation and the venue or the place of happening of that is different every time. So whenever you participate in a moot, or when you participate in a real court a case you are going to attend, first thing you read is the rules, how it is done. What are the requirements that are there? If you go to a court, submit a plaint or an application, the registrar outside, even the clerk, he will see those things if it is not in proper format, like, that legal size paper, one side print or two side. Some of the courts have, want to save paper so they can print out on both sides. Each and every court situation has got a different. The states also have different rules. So unless you know the rules of High Court or Supreme Court, then you will not be able to do it properly, because your plaint or application will not even get registered. The clerk himself will throw it out and say, go and bring it in the proper format. So first thing is you read the rules. What language is used? What is the dress code? And then what is the forum on which it is coming, whether it is a magistrate or a high court or a family court. So that kind of, or maybe some tribunals like what do you call the banking or CLB, Company Law Board, anything. Okay, or it can be arbitration. So if there is the thing, then you have to go according to the rules that are given into that. Likewise, when you go to a court, so if you go to Supreme Court, there are certain rules. So that is why you always have to read the rules first before. Then you read the problems. The problem, go through it in detail, and find out, make your points. Even as I told you, like you are specialized in IPR, but if your case comes on tax law, you don't know anything, but you start working on it. How? And now comes the question, how you start? Where do you start? What is the most important thing when you are going to participate in a moot, or when you go to a real court? Where do you start if you don't know about the subject? If you have not studied international, I'll tell you, when we were doing Jessup and Stetson for so many years. Now Jessup, last 2 years, we have not done Jessup. They themselves are doing it. But Stetson still we are doing for the past 20 years. And in one of the moot, there was a first year student who participated in Jessup. I won't name the college and other things. And they were, even national law schools participating. I didn't know that she was a first year student. But that team won the national round of Jessup. Can you imagine? That is Jessup, even the seasoned participants can't do that. But that team won, and the members were first year and second year students. For the first year, international law is not taught at all. But the way they prepared, they had every answer. Of course, they have taken help. You should also take help from your teachers or from your friends who have already participated in Jessup. But the way they prepared, so that is where, like when you don't have knowledge also, if you prepare, you can do it. She had such an extensive knowledge of, even now, after 5 or 6 years, I remember that student. It means because she did an excellent job and, such fantastic preparation. I mean, you have to admit that. So if you don't know the subject or you have no knowledge, don't worry about that, because everybody is not born with knowledge. Knowledge is always acquired, and then proficiency comes out of practice only. So that is where it is. Now, when you don't know about the subject, or you know a little about the subject, or it is your passion, whatever is your situation, where do you start? And there are 3 basic skills, whether you are participating in a moot or in the real court. So those 3 skills are the basic things that you must possess as an advocate, as a lawyer. What is the first thing when you start? I told you have to read the rules first, okay, the case, everything. And now you know the facts of the case, and but to the intricacies of the case, you don't know unless you read it again and again and again. I tell you, and when you don't know, where do you start? What is the first stage of that in a moot or in the real court? It is research. When you know subject, you don't know anything, you have to research, find out whichever thing, the ubiquitous Google. Everybody goes to Google, Wikipedia, get. But there are other ways. But when you hit Google with a word, okay, this subject is on criminal law and it is about murder or something, then you put murder, then 50,000 things will come. And then you will not know, yeah, what is it? Because you have not used the correct word. And then you reduce it to something, reduce, then at last, after 10 tries when you're starting new, if you are experienced, you know where to hit it and you get that information. But if you're not experienced, then you will get a plenty of junk on the way, and then it will take a lot of time to do away with that junk and get the thing which you want. But after so many tries and this thing, okay, you will get some stuff, and now you have that material in you. So that is research, because out of so many knowledge that is available on earth, on the net, on the web, you have culled out a few things which you think is essential for this, because that is the subject on which you are going to deal with it. So but when you think it is important, whether the judge will think what you are presenting, is it important or not. So that is where the discerning quality should be developed. How to do that? um, it comes out of practice only. It is not possible. It is a little bit possible if you observe what others are doing also. If you're not participating in a moot, at least go and watch a moot court and how well the students, you will get inspiration. You will be inspired by a performance of a few students, because they are exceptionally good. Some of them are exceptionally good. So first thing is research. Okay, and then you get all those details, put it in a sequential form. Okay, and discard it. So you have read so many things and you say, okay, this is not necessary. But all those things which you read, it is there in your head. It lies there, whether you want it or not. It is not there. Now you have discarded. This is all unwanted. That is the discerning quality. So now you take up the most important thing. And what is the next stage of that? What is the next skill that you have to employ after you get research and you think, okay, I have enough material on this subject? Writing. So now the writing part of it is a difficult one, in the sense uh, you have so much information and you have called out only little. And out of that, you must have heard this term, brevity is the soul of it, because in the rules and regulations, you say only 15 pages for a memorial. Even in applications, like in the court, plaint, there are plaint which is running to 600 pages, and the lawyers always call them a brief. Bring the brief, it means 600 pages. So only lawyers will have the audacity to call a 600-page document as a brief. But if you go abroad in US or in other countries, a brief 3 to 5 pages. I mean, nobody, the judge don't read that kind of a thing. It has to be 3 pages. In our office, it's always a policy. When we joined, and whenever we prepare a brief and give it to the senior partner to deal with it, our condition is always, anything you give on a subject should be one A4 size, one side, not on the other side. Okay, so all you have researched, it should be there in one page. They will see that whether you are able to comprehend the entire thing. Probably in school you must have read and done comprehension. There is one, in English second paper, or in the language second paper, you have a paper called the comprehension. That means the passage is given, some questions are given underneath. You think that is the easiest thing, but when you see your marks, you get 3 or 4 marks, 2, 3, and then 4. Nobody gets 8 or 9 in comprehension, because that is where you think that reduce it to one. And preci writing, you thought remove all those words you don't know the meaning of it, and then reduce it and count the words and say, okay, now they will already give the number of words 130. You have to put the précis of 50 words or something. I'll tell you that's the most difficult question in English second paper or in a language second paper, because what you subject that is given there, you must read and understand and put it in your own words without losing the spirit of that passage. So when it is given from a huge literary work, and the top literary giants, when they write something, that one paragraph can be expanded into 100 pages. But to compress that one paragraph, one third, is the most difficult job in the world. Unless you understand it totally and then put it in your own words, it's going to be a very difficult. So that is how you do things, when you are writing. And I always tell the students when we meet, you just give me a letter, a leave letter saying, like that you want 1 day leave from me. I am your employer. And then you should not use the word as I am suffering from stomach pain, headache, or, all those excuses which you are going to give. I don't want that hearing. And always students find it very difficult to write that one line. Why they want a holiday? Why they want? They always, why writing becomes difficult is because you always try to find an excuse. You don't tell the truth. Once you start telling the truth, writing becomes easy. So truth is where the most important thing. So here I will deviate slightly and tell about another subject. When if you want to be a professional, it is. Have you heard about rhetoric? Rhetoric is a very important thing. Aristotle's rhetoric is the most famous thing, but many of you are must not have read that. It's a very difficult book to read and understand. But rhetoric is about telling something in a very clear way so that everybody understands. But the idea is truth. Truth is the background of rhetoric. Once you, but if you see our politicians, normally the other says when he keeps on blabbering, they'll say, stop the rhetoric and come to the point. That means that rhetoric is, those words are used unnecessarily. But in a court or in a moot court, you have only 10 minutes to put your argument. So rhetoric is the most important thing. So if you see this book, or Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Riding, is a very good book to read. It's one of the most difficult book, but most enjoyable book to read. I would suggest that you read that also. And I wanted to just dwell upon this a few minutes. Uh, have you watched this movie, Amistad? It's about the revolt by the slaves in a ship which is called Amistad. And they were taken from Africa, and they get landed in the northern coast of United States, and they are put into trial. And in the initial trial, the slaves have a win, because that court scene also is excellent in the sense that what everybody thought it's about murder, because the slaves, they revolt in the sea and kill those people, except two navigators who thought they will take back to America, to Africa, but they brought them back to America. So that's where the case is going on. So they won the initial stage, but the then president, because at that time the North and South were divided with this abolition theory of slavery there at that time. So there was a huge divide, and then they won. The then president of United States, want to appeal to a high court, to the Supreme Court. So in Supreme Court, when the case comes, it is argued by Quincy John Quincy Adams, the previous president of the United States. You must see that particular scene. Normally I would have brought those clips and showed to you if you were, speaking to you direct, indirect. But due to the copyright issues, I cannot, upload that now. You can always watch it. It is available in YouTube also. I will tell you that is what is rhetoric is about. The truth telling. He never uses a word. His words, but the way he puts that thing so fantastic, and for the slaves, and then he wins the case. So his client, that Sinke, his name is a slave leader. He says, he asks him, "What did you tell? What did you tell them?" He said, "Nothing. I told what you told me. That's all." If you watch the movie, you will understand. So that is the kind of understanding. So it gives a lot of when you are the client counseling method. When you listen to a client, see, the art of listening is so very important for an advocate, which is not taught in the classroom. Oh, art of listening. Okay, the teachers say, teachers, just come on, listen, listen, don't look there, don't look this, don't look into your mobile, but you don't listen. So that is the problem. So art of listening is so very important, and he exactly puts forth to the court what this man has said only, but in his words. That is rhetoric. So you please watch it, and then you will answer. So this is about putting the things, and the third is what I just talked about: communication. Communication with style, poise, truth, forcefulness within that given time is the most important of the three, and the three most important skill that a lawyer should possess. That is, develop skills in research, writing, and communication. So this is where I would like to again remind you of your previous thing, the SWOT analysis. It's difficult for you, you have knowledge, you are prepared well, you have with the help, you've taken help and prepared a fantastic memorial, you show it to your teachers. They also looked into it and saw that it's a wonderful memorial, it's good. Now, there's a question of presentation, but you have a problem when 100 people sit in front of you, or when you speak to judges, and, let's say it's in finals or in quarterfinals, senior advocates who have got plenty of knowledge who are listening to you, and then you have a problem there for communicating. And within 10 minutes, they'll try to put you off every moment. The moment you open your mouth, they'll put another question. The judge also, like, if you're not very clear about it, then they'll keep on putting you questions. So you feel that is your weakness. What else you will do? Then you have to address the situation, because it is your weakness, or you think it is your threat. So now you address it. Go and join a public speaking course. Or you can, you have good language. People say normally you speak very well, and you are very communicative. So you have problem in presenting in front of us. So speak before the mirror. Speak before, go to your room, lock your door, and then keep speaking like that. My granddaughter does it all the time, speaking in front of the mirror. It's an enjoyable thing. But like, you get confidence. So somehow you have to develop that quality if you feel that. And if you can't write, I will tell you, take passages of from literature, start comprehending it and understanding, and make it into one third of what you have read. Read a book, read uh, a passage or a short story, and try to write it one third of it, without losing the essence of that story or the passage, and then give it to your teachers and find out. They will always be helpful when you are like proactive, and then seek their help. This is how. And then acquiring knowledge, naturally it happens, because when you are researching on a subject which you have no idea about, you read plenty of it, and uh, and it is there in your head. And when you participate in another subject, or you attend another case, all those things which you read will automatically come. At least it will help you where you can go and research it again, because nothing goes out of your head. It's there forever. The knowledge never goes. Just like cycling and swimming, I just wake you up from your sleep, you don't forget, same thing happens to you, and you don't forget about that. So these are the basic things in moot court. If you participate, so there's not much difference between moot court and a real court. If you prepare in the way which I said, in research, and in writing, and in your communication, I'll tell you, whether you win moot courts or not, you will be an excellent lawyer. You are not afraid of facing people. You're not afraid to tell the truth. because you have knowledge, you have done research, you have material in hand to present whatever you are doing. Your idea is to get truth and justice for your client. That is your primary aim. So that aim and focus should not be forgotten at all, whether it's a moot court or a real court. Now, you may ask, what are the benefits? Of course, I will tell you, moot courts happen in different parts of the country. And you always prepare as a team. So teamwork is very, very important. Two teams, and you deal with this issue, I will deal with this issue, and the researcher will take care of the memorial, and everybody will work together. And it happens. So I have traveled to Northeast, and you have come to Bangalore or in southern Moot, Cochin, Kerala, because we hold our Moot in almost all over India. So it's a very good opportunity to go to different places. And it's a very enjoyable because I meet so many people now, I call those mooters only as judges nowadays. You know, uh, they are students who have participated in moots. Now they are judges. That is what I want. I want you on the other side. And they are very good at it because they have been grilled by the judges earlier. Now they grill these students. But it's fantastic. Won't you feel happy when your alma mater, your college calls, when you're practicing in a court, when your college calls you to be a judge in a moot court which they are organizing? That's the proudest moment you can have. Whenever I go, my college, Dr. Ambedkar Government Law College, Chennai, calls me for any moot or any to give some lectures, I'm very, very happy about it because, I'm giving it back to them and meeting the students. It's a very enjoyable and a very pleasurable moment. So these are the fantastic benefits. And so the team can be very, very different, like two girls and one boy, two boys, one girl, and you move as a team. You are friends. There is a very close knit opportunity here between people, and you go to another people, you get lot of friends. It's a kind of a peer group you form. And that group, you might pick up some very good friends. Those are friends as well as professional part. It's a peer group. Tomorrow you are in Assam and somebody else is there in Delhi and somebody is in Chennai, but you need to a case your client has some matters coming at Chennai. You don't need to travel all the world to Chennai. You have to just call your friend and say, okay, yeah, you please attend this case. I'm sending a client and he will come, he will contact you, you attend to it. And then same way in something that they have to do it in Assam or in Guwahati, they will always call you because it's a quid pro quo. And that's the kind of a relationship you should maintain between. So when you participate in a you come across a lot of people, and those judges who come to judge you can always interact with them, and then get the knowledge and the kind of thing. So when you see the court, suddenly none of the faces will be like strange to you. So somewhere or other, whenever I go to any court, wherever I always meet with people who are familiar with me, or they come saying, "Sir, so you remember me," like that. So it's a very, very fantastic moment. So, and then when you want to go, let us say I am in Chennai, I want to go to, like, I'm a girl, and then I want to go to Guwahati, and I asked my mother to say I wanted to go to Cherrapunji. It's a fantastic place. Uh, no, she won't leave. No. What is this? Something is happening there, and this people are there. It's not safe, and all those things. They won't let you. I mean, if you're going with friends, but if you say I'm participating in a moot there, so will your parents stop you? No, of course they will say, "Yeah, better be careful," and this thing. And you go to a strange land, three of you land, and then the students will come and pick you, and then go. All these things are very enjoyable. At the same time, you get to learn a lot. And so when I am your employer, I told you that those extra things which you have to have. uh, when I see your subject and I ask you what are you, and you say that I'm an advocate, I've got a BL degree, and then I'll ask what else. Nothing, because 100 people will come for the interview and everybody says I have a BL degree. Then how do I choose one person out of that out of that 100? So one person gives the certificate. It says, I have participated in this moot. It's participation. But as I know what is the value of that one certificate. Participating, what it means, what that certificate means, participating in a moot. If it is just up, and if you say I am a quarter finalist, I can, I can understand the kind of work you have put. I can understand the kind of research you have put. I can understand the kind of presentation you have made from that one certificate. Because, that is what matters. When 1 lakh people come out of it, out of that only a few thousand people participate. So you are one among that few thousand, one among a million who have participated and made a mark there. So that is how important a moot court is. So don't uh, so nowadays, we are having even judgment writing component included there. So people, when they put a footnotes, make case laws. I don't think it any one of you. So I'm not telling you. I mean, I'm telling you that you should not put so many footnotes in your. You can put a few footnotes, but whenever you put a footnote there, you must know what the facts are. You must know the facts of the case, the judgment, the year, whether it is overturned or not, or a different situation has arisen, or when there is any change in the legal scenario. All these things you must have knowledge before you put a footnote there. So that is where how it is very important. So when you make the memorial and you have flags and always give those things, you must know what you are speaking to the point, and you must expect and you must think on your feet when the judge asks questions, and everything should be in your fingertips. That is how you have to work. And then, as I told you, the networking possibilities are not just between the students and this thing, but between advocates, between the judiciary, your peer group. It's all the pure networking possibilities. And this friendship is, for your lifetime. As long as you do this profession, it is there for your lifetime. So there's one thing about participating in a moot and organizing. There are soft skills. People who organize a moot, they meet a lot of people. Even there is a lot of protocol in inviting a judge, inviting the chief guest, and unless you are very good communicative, draft the letters, going and meeting people. So these are all soft skills that are not taught in college, but you can learn only. See, when you are volunteering for a moot, that means you are learning a lot. You are gaining that organizational skill. You are not afraid to meet people. You are not going afraid to go on to the high court and meet a judge and inviting him. And if he says, yeah, I'm not, when you give a letter to the this thing, you have fixed an appointment with the secretary and then go and meet the judge. Then you give a thing inviting him for the inaugural function. Then he sees, oh, I'm very sorry, I can't come for the inaugural this thing. But you are fixed in your mind that you have to invite this person to this particular moot. Sir, in case you just take out another cover and say you participate in the valediction at least, you judge the finals. No, I don't have time. Say, sir, please, sir, be the chief guest in the. So you must think everything in advance, and this kind of skill don't come easily. I mean, if I ask you to go and speak to somebody, you won't. But students, for students, everything opens. The door opens. Even the high court or supreme court or whatever, wherever you go in the proper way and then say your students, every door will open. Every door will open. But it has to be done in a very proper way. So that is what you learn. And then a few things, uh, you know, I would have shown a few pictures of the finals of the moot court where the arrangements. If you have seen the moot, the screen and other things, I'll just have a few printouts for you here. See the court. This is how it looks. The finals. These are the 5 judges for this and this is the corporate law moot. And winning 25,000 rupees. I will tell you, a winner's check is given to the team, and within seconds, these days you send a SMS, and the whole world knows that you have won that competition. Your college is happy, your parents are happy, your friends are happy, you are very happy. So why don't you give that happiness to yourself and to others also? So, and it's not just happiness, or it's not a small kind of happiness, but uh, something which touches your heart. So this is about moot court. I told you how when we have the moot courts and the judges and the senior advocates participate and then come and judge the finals and other things. Uh, Many of the students, the participants who have won in the finals, they have been picked up. They have been given uh, internships, and even in our own moods, whoever are the winners, we just invite the internship opportunities for them. If possible, we place them also. So many got placed because the top people come to judge the finals, and then they see the students, the kind of argument which the students make, the kind of research, and the kind of authority in which we speak on that subject. Even the chief guests or others who are invited are very impressed by that, and then they immediately offer, "Why don't you come and join my firm?" And a lot of people have got jobs, and see, I keep meeting such people every year, and they'll always tell me, "Sir, I tell you that Moot has made a difference in my life," and I am friends with them for the last, I know a lot of people. I've met tens and thousands of people, students, in the last 20 years, and I'm in touch with many of them, very often. Even Amarjyoti Sharma sir, I have I met in a moot in Symbiosis Law College. I mean, there's a lot of time gap. I did not communicate with him, but that doesn't matter at all. We have not forgotten each other. So when the time comes, okay, he contacted me, and then I am also very happy to share my experiences with you. So thank you very much. I invite you to be all a part of this activity. Those students who are still in the third or fourth year, still you can participate in a MOOC and be a part of this activity. And you can always, mail me, contact me, anything. You can get the contact details from Amarjyoti. And I thank BRM Law College for giving me this opportunity, and Professor Dr. L. Uh, Dhanamanjuri. Thank you very much, ma'am, for organizing this. And Amarjyoti sir, very good. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed making this presentation. So if you have any questions, because
Yes,
seeing
sir.
I'm, yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you very much, sir. So now I open
I
the
hope it
house.
was helpful, and I mean, it was good. I don't know
Definitely,
about
sir.
that.
So now I open the house to the students.
Sorry.
Students, you may
Yes,
unmute your mic, or you may use the chat box to put the questions. Sir, so while the students are putting up the questions, let me just
yes,
extend the talk with you.
yes,
From whatever I've seen the experiences and whatever I've said till now, we already have got a question. What else
yes.
qualities do we need to have to be a corporate lawyer? This is from Ananya Rathore.
See, corporate. Many of the students, they want to prefer corporate law because that's where the money is. They think it's not so, but corporate law is very, very difficult area to practice, in the sense, not just the law, but you have to be proficient with the rules and regulations. If you take IT, taxation and thing, even if you are a corporate side, you must have knowledge about this, about the company, the background, everything. So I told you that the domain knowledge is very important. I'll tell you, when you go for internship, the students, they need not go necessarily to a law firm. Who told you that you should go to a law firm only to work, or under an advocate? Why not work in banking industry? Why not work in construction industry? Why not go and work even in a small scale industry? I mean, you choose your subject. What is your interest? Go and work, have domain knowledge. And then when you apply to a law firm saying, I want to practice in the corporate side and practice on this area, like, I want to practice on power side. I want to practice on, wind non-conventional energy side. And I said, oh. Then they will ask you why you want to practice on those areas. because I have more knowledge. I worked in this environment. I am very good in that domain. So in corporate field, whether it is like real estate and this thing, construction and all those things, if you have domain knowledge, that helps a lot. Besides subject, okay, commerce is good because you know about that accounting, the background procedures. But if you have a domain knowledge, and in fact, when you don't have to apply, you can even advertise. I have extensive knowledge on this subject. Whoever wants me, I am available. Then the employers themselves will apply to you saying, okay, come over to my firm. So that is the kind of confidence you should have. You must have domain knowledge in that. So you can intern in a corporate setup, not necessarily in a law firm, but in a corporate office, even back office or front office, wherever you can work. But with the aim of going and understanding that industry, finding out everything, and then work in a corporate set. I will tell you, if you work in that way, sometimes you'll be the CEO of that company if you have that much acquired that much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I would like to ask a question on my own. Sir,
Yes.
if you remember Ambrose, sir, he used to be the
Yes.
judges in the moot courts.
I'm still in touch with him. Yes.
Yes, sir. So he is a kind of very aggressive judge. How do you deal when such aggressive judges come in and just want to shake you out of your confidence?
You must have you must have heard about that good boy bad boy treatment. The police cops, one will go and attack the when you are investigating something. The other one will say no, 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 yeah, you go away. The nice boy treatment and the hot and cold treatment. It always happens. It always happens. Ambrose is very aggressive. I agree because I'll tell you, I did my PhD under him. He is my guide for my PhD. You can just imagine. Before I finalized the subject and gave my initial draft, how many times I have to redo it. Only God knows. But you can be very good after once you satisfy him. See, when Ambrose puts a lot of questions, that means you have answered the previous questions. That's why he's putting new questions to you. And then the more he questions, the chances that are there that you win.
Yes,
Because
that is a art that every lawyer should master. Actually, we need more judges like Ambrose, sir. Actually, sir, another question that I would like to ask you, sir, is when sometimes it
yes,
happens that you are in front of the judge and he asks you a question and you don't really know the answer. How to tackle that situation?
sir, you just tell I don't know. Truth is the best. So I am not prepared this, and I am not aware of this. That's the best way. Or if you know the nearest answer, because you must have come across when you are preparing, but out of boredom or laziness, you did not prepare that point. You can say that I came close to this, I was aware of this, but I was not having time. So I really, but in crux, you must say the judges, you don't know that. If you try to bluff, what happens is you put other questions, and then your majority of you have 10 minutes, and then 5 minutes will be taken away only by this question for which you don't know the answer. The judge will easily find that out. So the best way to operate is just you don't know, and then go to that next stage where you can answer the questions which you know about. That's the best way.
Thank you very much,
Otherwise,
sir.
you'll be spending 50 more than 50% of your time dealing with a question which you don't have answer. The judge
Thank,
will take you into that route, and you are in no man's land.
thank you very much, sir. We have another question from Ananya Rathore who says, can you
Yes.
give some tips how to boost our confidence and be an extrovert? Because I have heard being an introvert and pursuing law as a career is not a wise choice.
Ah, it's nothing like that. You have already chosen law. If you are an introvert, you don't have, that's what I told you during my presentation or speech also, that people, many of them have problem in when, meeting a group of people to speak. You have knowledge, you have everything, but you can communicate. But the thing is, when you see 100 people or you see an audience, then you have that difficulty. In court, I'll tell you, I'll ask her to go to the court daily, any court, just wear the dress and then go. Even after she enrolls, go to the court, or even as a student, sit and watch. Don't talk anything. Take a notepad and then go and sit and watch. 90% of the advocates don't have answers to the questions the judge asks. They will say, your lord, my lord, and this thing. He'll keep on telling that the judge himself will tell the answer. So she will get a lot of confidence because she is not alone in that. Many of them. Only thing is that she must build that confidence by, if she has problem in presentation, first thing, let her go and join any public speaking course. In our office, we identify these kind of people when they have, they are good in knowledge, but they have problem in communication. We ourselves put them in public speaking course and then pay for it also. Our firm does that. And it will solve a lot of problem and you will come out very well. It's better that she attends a public speaking course and then get it done.
Thank you so much, sir. There is another question from Nitisu Sarma.
Yes.
From which year should we start practice in the 5-year course? I think she's talking about a Moot course.
Right from first year. Like, you when you have a moot court society, the first year students can be put in, one of the members is a first year student, like, but she has to work hard. I told you, a first year student won the JSUP, the national. So it's not the question of year that you join, it's the question of interest only, but you must be a valuable asset to your team. You say, I will research and give it whatever you want. You have to work, and if you are not part of the team, at least you should start observing and then do it first year. But the students, when they come in a 5-year course, when they are in the third or fourth year, they must be very clear about which direction they wanted to go. That must be sure. That's what I said, when you are a specialist in some area, when you like a subject, then you should keep on reading that subject. Open a folder in your so even when you are studying, when you are researching, when some area, even in a newspaper, when some news comes of your interest, you must read that, store it in that folder. Store it in that folder. Say, let us say you are interested in entertainment industry or interested in music. So any news, any legal news or anything that comes in that subject, you cut, copy, paste in a Word document or save that document if it's a PDF document or anything, or a clipping you come across, anything, you put it in that folder. So when you open that folder at a later time, you have so much information on that subject which you are interested. Without your knowledge, you are already becoming an expert on that subject.
Thank you so much, sir. I would just like to add to whatever you have said to Nitisu Sharma.
Yes.
You must start right from the first year. And basically, what happens is most of the college they have a novice moot court round. So if your college is
Yes.
organizing that, you may start from
Exactly.
there. But you
Yes.
should begin as early as possible. If your college
Oh,
is
yes,
not,
absolutely. That's what I told you, those writing thing, taking a passage, reading, converting into this thing. So for the writing thing is, you can do, and then the teachers also help, say like, in that. So that is very important in the writing aspect of that.
uh, we have another question from Philaton. Sir, how
Yes.
long does it take to be an established lawyer in average? And also, is it necessary that the lawyers need to be specific lawyers like criminal lawyer or tax lawyer or human rights lawyer? Is there anything like that?
Yes, you can say, see, I will tell you, if you are practicing on your own, you can be a specialist in a particular field of law, but you have to take all the cases that come into your. When you are working in a law firm, you naturally choose, you are put in a particular department and you will be working on that area. But as I told you, when you are, you want to get into a particular area like corporate law or IPR, then you must have some knowledge in that and you can get into that and then practice in that area. But you cannot, when you go on your own, when you're a lawyer, then you may be a specialist in a particular field in a criminal law, or mostly in criminal law. When you go there, it will be a specialization on criminal law only, because the criminal law, like it needs a lot of your presence on the spot. The clients, like you have to attend those things people immediately. Unlike other corporate law, you have more time to deal with that subject. But in criminal law, you don't have time, because you're that. So if you have 5 clients and you're totally involved, I don't think you will have time for any other thing, because bail and this thing. See, even lawyer taking on bail, I will tell you, you will have so many cases in your hand. If you became established that you are a very good bail lawyer taking, I will tell you, you will be fully occupied.
There is another question, one more question. If we choose to go into judicial services, what should we aim at?
Can you talk about the scope of
Uh,
practicing in international? Yes, that's a very specialized area, because the scope is not much. Because if you practice international law, you have to, as I said, the NGOs, like you can green space, and then like UN, UNICEF, CRY. These are the areas where you can practice, but the scope is very limited. To get into UN, it's not very easy, because for 1 or 2 spots in the UN, even the countries will be trying to occupy that space, because it's a kind of a lobby. If you have seen, if you are watching Beyond lately about this Chinese thing, it's a veritable lesson on international law. How even the reputed international organization like UN and then WHO, I mean, they have come down to such a low level. We don't know the truth exactly, but to occupy that position is a lot of politics, international politics. It's a very difficult proposition. But you can start interning with the treaties division in in Delhi, where that it's in that ILI building. So if you get into that, it's well and good, but it's a bit difficult than other subjects. You must be very, very proficient in international law. You must do your masters, and then yes, you have
thank
to
you.
definitely participate in Jessup. Jessup.
Thank you
That
very
will
much,
give you a
sir.
lot of yes.
So, students, are there any more questions? I don't think we have any more questions. So, that
Yes,
brings us to the end of the program.
yes.
At the end of the program, I'd like to thank
Uh,
Ravichandran sir for taking out time. He is a very, very busy person, but he still took out time. And I met sir, I think around 2008 or 9, and after that,
yes,
we almost lost contact. And I was not even
yes,
sure if he will recognize me, but that is
yes.
one of his greatness. He
No,
recognized
no,
me.
no, absolutely. I definitely recognize you. I got your number on the mobile also. I don't normally, lose my contacts unless I lose my phone or,
Yes,
change the
sir.
phone. I
And
very well
it
remember
was
that.
really great. I
And,
was,
I remember, see, that is why when I came to NLUJA, I myself called you,
yes, sir.
I
Yes,
spoke
sir.
to you. That's how I came to your college.
Yes, sir. So it was really very, very should I say kind but very generous of you to meet our
No, no, no.
students,
Absolutely. It's a
and
pleasure.
I hope that your interaction would actually inspire them to enter into more competitions, and
Yes,
also uh, take up practice more seriously, take up study more seriously, take up mooting more seriously. Moot,
absolutely.
as you already know, is not taken very, very seriously in the Northeast.
No,
Uh,
no. What I am telling you is, see, you need not be, feel dejected about you are in a government law school or in this thing or in Northeast or nothing like that. I will tell you, even if you are in from an elite law school, it can gain admittance only. I mean, when you go for an interview, okay, they have a better, let's say, but once you get into a job, once you get